How do you handle finances in marriage? Together, separate? Do you budget? How do you handle debt?
So I do most of the finances, and you have your business, but I do the accounting for that for the most part. And yes, I guess we don't really do it together, right?
Yeah, not really. I'm not at all like that secretary type of wife that takes care of all of that kind of stuff. He does most of it, and then yeah, I'd say he does most of it.
And then how do you handle debt?
And how do you budget?
So we don't do a budget at all,
Mm-mm.
but handling debt, I take a lot of risk and use debt, but want to get to a place where I'll be debt free eventually. Not there yet, but getting there. So I don't know if that's a specific goal, but that's kind of what we're working towards, but not in a very structured way, I guess.
We're pretty wing-it type of people, aren't we?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
What's another word for that? Not sporadic, but like there's a word that you use often. Spontaneous.
Oh yeah.
We're really spontaneous type people. Best relationship advice.
Okay.
I'd say my best relationship advice is to communicate. I think maybe it sounds a little bit cliche, but it is really important. If you can't communicate with each other, then a lot of things get misunderstood, and one or the other will end up just kind of stewing in their own thoughts that may or may not even be true. So talking things out is my best relationship advice.
I guess for myself, it's probably maintaining an emotional connection, because I tend to just, if I have something I'm dealing with, I just shut it up inside and consider it something I have to address and overcome, like whether it's financial stress or business related stress or all sorts of things. And when I bottle it up inside and don't communicate that to you, it does come out in certain areas that I might not be aware of, and you'll sense that there's something happening. And if I don't communicate it with you, then you start wondering if it's something you're doing.
Yeah.
And start analyzing yourself and start feeling guilt for if our relationship does lack communication.
Mm-hmm.
And so I have to be aware of that and realize if there's something, stress or whatever that I'm dealing with, I have to communicate that with you, and that builds that connection that is healthy for a relationship.
Who schedules date nights? What date nights?
Hardly ever do any.
Yeah. If we do have date nights, I guess I usually schedule them, but they're very rare. Do you guys have community where you live? Love following along.
Yeah, we've got a really good community here. It's a real blessing.
Yeah.
And lots of good people here. I think that's a very important part of life, is being a part of a community where you can contribute to something greater than just yourself or your little family, but take part in getting involved in other people's lives and helping where you can. There's a lot of, I guess we're created for that, to contribute to something greater than ourselves.
I feel like you've really helped me learn that and see that in like recent years, especially just because I keep to myself so much. What was the hardest thing for y'all after first getting married? I don't recall anything that was really hard after we first got married.
No, we had a good relationship before we got married. We got to know each other very well, and there wasn't any big issues that we weren't able to address before we got married.
Yeah.
And I'd say that's probably key to not having anything really hard to deal with afterwards. But
yeah,
we've dealt with some hard things,
Yeah, I feel like
here and there,
harder
but
things maybe kind of came later on.
yeah,
But yeah, I think it sounds funny, but probably the hardest thing for me to get used to right after we're married is just having somebody like with me all the time. Like just having somebody that close to every aspect of my life. That was probably the hardest thing, but it wasn't like a bad kind of hard. It was just had to get used to it. Why did you leave the Mennonite church?
I left when right before we got married. I enjoyed the church I was going to at the time, but wasn't planning on living in Pennsylvania where this church was at. So, and you weren't at all Mennonite, so there was a few things that I wasn't really interested in maintaining, some of the rules or whatever. And I enjoy fellowshipping with people from all sorts of backgrounds without the pressure of, if I want to fellowship with them, they have to join the church I'm a part of. And the aspect of everybody is equal. They don't have to be a part of this or that denomination. And I enjoy just fellowshipping with people from all sorts of backgrounds. And now I really appreciate my Mennonite upbringing, I guess you'd call it, and all of the principles and the way of life and
Values.
the values, and a lot of those, we raise our family, and incorporate a lot of those things, but I agree with that way of life a lot. But to have a very defined idea of this is what's pleasing to God and nothing else is outside of that, and creating that box, so to speak, that we consider acceptable and nothing else is, that's, I guess, part of it that can be negative.
Yeah.
Being closed-minded to people from other backgrounds and other ways of life, I guess. So yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, that's a good answer.
I don't judge the Mennonite culture, and there's a lot of benefits to it. So,
How many kids would you like to have? It depends on who you ask and what time of the month you ask. I don't know. I always get asked this question and I just literally don't know. I get really bad baby fever, and so if I would just go with my baby fever, who knows how many kids I would end up with. But I guess we've kind of said, like, if we had to pick a number, we've said 6, haven't we? Or did you say something else?
yeah, I don't really have a specific number.
Yeah, we don't have a specific number. I feel like that's just a question you can't really answer. Do you think college is important or necessary?
Depends what a person, depends, I guess, the goals a person has.
Yeah.
And what career they want to pursue. If they want to be a doctor, then absolutely, but a lot of other things, I think it'd be more beneficial to, get into a specific trade and work as an apprentice or work under somebody or learn the skills of your trade early on in life by starting from the bottom, and I'd say that'll be more beneficial than spending, thousands of dollars on a college degree that may or may not be beneficial in your career.
I personally don't think a college education is necessary for being a successful business owner or operator. I mean, yeah, neither of us have a college education, and we're both business owners, and I haven't found that it's hindered either one of us. So
yeah, I'd say the willingness to work hard and develop some skills at a young age are very important. Yeah, but like I said, nothing against college if somebody has a specific occupation or a goal that they have in mind that requires that. So
yeah. What characteristics about each other made you interested in courting each other? I think for me, I was super impressed by how kind he was to everybody. Like, he just looked like this really cool, hot guy, and I thought that he was gonna be like you know, like one of those guys that's really cliquish and he has his really cool friend group and stuff, but he was actually very friendly to everyone. Like he was equally as friendly to the pretty girls as he was to the little super annoying boy that was tugging on his arm, and that just really impressed me right off the bat.
Who was an annoying little boy that
There was some little boy that was just like, I thought he looked really annoying and he was trying to play volleyball with you or something, and like you were just really nice to him when I feel like most other guys would have just kind of brushed him off and went on their way. Okay, your turn.
Well, I guess when I met you, I saw there was way more to you than could be seen at first glance. Yeah, because you know you don't find it easy just to be yourself around a crowd of people.
Yeah.
And but I saw there was a lot underneath the surface that couldn't be easily seen, and I don't know. I guess that.
That was the challenge
that,
for you?
Yeah.
You wanted to go find out more?
Yeah. So,
What has been the hardest thing to work through as a married couple? Okay, I know what I want to say for this one. I think him being an extrovert and me being an introvert has been one of the hardest things to work through. And I think I don't think we'll ever be finished working through it. It'll always be like a thing where we're having to work together on it, because with him being extroverted, he loves being with people. He recharges being with people. I am completely opposite of that, and it has caused some really hard situations that we've had to work through. Would you say something else, or do you agree with that? Or maybe you have a different perspective?
As far as social life, we kind of pull each other in the opposite directions of what we desire, I guess. I tend to get involved in a lot of different people's lives, and I have a lot of friends and love being around people, and that kind of recharges me, I guess. And that's the opposite for you.
Yeah. And I think we both really had to come to terms with the fact that it's not better to be one way or the other. God created us both in the ways that we are, and we have to accept each other for what we are and try to figure out a solution to just work through how we both want to do the opposite things, which is not easy, but that's kind of how it has to be. So,
and that's one of those things where if we communicate that early on, if something gets uncomfortable or you feel, or you're getting overwhelmed or whatever, if you communicate that early on before it becomes a huge issue, that really helps, because then we can kind of give into each other, without it becoming a huge issue, and then it blows up and gets confusing and everything.
Yeah, it gets too far out of hand. Do you attend any church? I feel like people are really curious about this one.
So like we mentioned before, there's a community here that we are very involved in, and we meet together sometimes with some of them. It's not a very scheduled, structured thing, but it's very enjoyable and very edifying and all of that. I guess everything, or it's everything that we desire. But as far as like a church that we can tell you exactly where the building's at and the name of it and all of that, no, we don't have anything like that.
Yeah. Do you think it's wrong to kiss before marriage?
I guess if you think it's wrong, then yeah, it's wrong for you. But if somebody else thinks it's okay, then I guess it's probably okay for them.
That's a great answer. It's like if you're violating your conscience, then definitely it's wrong. But yeah. What is your advice for the single young ladies like me as a future wife? Yeah, you answer this one.
Why?
We'll both answer it. I think people ask questions like this and they want to hear it from a girl's perspective, but it's actually super helpful to hear it from a guy's perspective.
Like, what should you prepare for?
Yeah, like first stage, like what you
Yeah,
think that
like-
she should be doing while she's like old enough to get married but still single.
I'd want her to meet a bunch of different guys, get to know guys, and figure out, or is this more like?
No, that's
like
good.
a
You're on the
wife?
right track.
Okay.
Yeah.
Get to know different guys and really figure out what she wants in a guy, and yeah, I want to raise her, I guess, I want to raise her to know what she, or think about what she wants, I guess, and not just follow our set of standards or whatever that we live by, but kind of figure that out on her own to a degree once she's older, and then know what she wants, I guess, and pursue that. I guess give her a large realm of possibilities and options
Yeah.
to pick from or to be involved in. So
Yeah, that's
I
pretty much what I'd say too.
don't know. I'm not really into controlling every little aspect of it, and because I don't want her to eventually get to the place to where she wonders if she really chose this or not, or if other people did for her. So
Yeah.
and if she makes a bad decision, then that would be on her, basically.
Yeah, we do all we can to try to prepare her with the knowledge that we have and try to show her how to seek God for her own answers, and then it's kind of up to her after that. Yeah, I would say, like, looking back on when I was single, I wish that I would have stepped outside of my shell way more often and not been so scared of just meeting new people and talking to new people. And like, I just wish I wouldn't have been so scared of that. I'm sure that doesn't go for everybody. Probably it's more of an introverted thing, but just to step out and just meet all kinds of new people and be okay with that is something that I would highly recommend for any single woman to kind of follow after. So, okay, so that's it. That's all the questions we're going to answer for this video. That was really fun. I enjoyed doing that with you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay,
it's
so
all right.
thank you all for watching. We'll see you in the next video. Or I'll see you in the next video. Unless I can talk him into doing another one.
Okay.
Okay, thanks.